Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another bonus lecture. This lecture will be different than the last one. In the last one we just answered questions, however in this one we will teach you how to do something completely new, and that is implementing Google Ads into your games. The Unity plugin that we are going to be using for those Google Ads is called Google Admob. So first, let's go to their website, which is google.com/admob. If you don't already have a Google account, you could sign up, but if you have one, just click sign into Admob. Let me just enter my details right. Once you have signed in, it will ask you to fill out some more details, such as country and time zone and currency, and that is all necessary if you want to make money on your games. You will also be asked to read and agree to the AdSense terms and conditions. Once you have filled out all the details, it will tell you that you have successfully created your Admob account, and that you need to confirm it on your email inbox. You can also set up your email preferences and then click on Continue to Admob. Once you have completed all of those necessary steps, you will be taken to this homepage of Google Admob. What you need to do now is to make an actual banner or video that you want to advertise in your games. In order to do that, click on Apps all the way on the left, and then it will give you an option to add your first application. If you have already published your app on the Google Play Store or on the iTunes App Store, it will be a bit easier. However, in our case we didn't publish anything yet, so let's click on No. Then you will be asked to enter the app name. In our case it's going to be Color Switch Replica. And after that you need to choose a platform. In our case again it's going to be Android. And then it will tell you that you have successfully added your application to the Google Admob. This is a code that will connect your account with your application, so you'll probably need to note this down. I'll be using Notepad to do that, and I'll just note that this is my app ID. It will actually give you some tips on what you need to do next. So after you have taken note of your new app ID right here, you will be asked to create an ad unit to display your ads in your app. That means that you actually need to choose a banner or a video that will be displayed in your app. So if you click next, it will take us to the ad unit creation. And we can see that there are various types of ads. There's the banner, there's interstitial, which is basically a video ad. There's the rewarded video, which is a really cool new feature in the Google Admob. Basically what it lets you do is watch the whole video ad, and after you have completed it, you get some in-game rewards. So it's kind of a way to pressure your players to watch the complete ad so you can get more money out of it. And there's also native, which is an ad that will match the look and feel of your app. Since I'm trying to explain this new concept, let's go with the most simple one, the banner. Click on select. And we can pretty much leave everything of those on default, and after that we need to enter a name for this ad unit. Let's simply call it Color Switch Banner. Click on Save. After that is done, you will get an ad unit ID, which will be needed very soon. So make sure you copy that. And after that you can click Done. The next thing that we need to do is to download the Admob Unity plugin. To do that, go to github.com/unity-plugins/unity-admob. This is the website where you should download the plugin. So click on Clone or Download and choose Download Zip. When it has finished downloading, open up your downloads folder and you can find a zip file called Unity Admob Master. You will need WinRAR or 7-zip in order to extract it. I'm using WinRAR, so I'm going to be right-clicking and choosing Extract here. After that, I should be getting a folder which has the same name, and I'm able to delete this zip file. Open up the folder, and the only file that we need from here is the Admob Unity plugin. Right now I'm going to show you how this is going to work. So open up your Unity project that you want your ads implemented in. In our case, we'll be choosing Color Switch Replica. And once that it's open, go back to your downloaded folder and double-click the Admob Unity plugin. This will automatically import the whole package into Unity. This window will pop up, make sure everything is there, and click on Import. It has automatically created a plugins folder where we have the Admob API, both for Android and iOS. We are also getting a bunch of warning messages here, but since there are no errors, you can basically just ignore all of these. Let's go back to the home screen and let's create a new script. It's going to be a C# script and we can call it Admob script. Open it up in Visual Studio. We won't be needing the update method, just the start method, so we can delete this one to keep the script clean. We also need to import the Admob functions by typing using Admob. So what we need to do before the start method is to create a variable. It's going to be public static Admob script, basically the same name as the script that you just created, instance. After that, in curly brackets, we want to type in set, and after that get, and this will basically ensure that this variable will be able both to access and to edit things. Once that is done, let's go back to the start method. The first thing that we need to type is instance equals to this, and this is basically this Admob script. Since this script will be attached to a game object in the home screen, we actually don't want it to be destroyed once we load the other scenes. So what we need to do in order to keep the ad going for the whole game, we need to use the don't_destroy_onLoad function. It looks like this. And in the brackets we need to type in which object we want to be keeping throughout all of the scenes. So let's just type in game object, which will be the game object that this script is attached to. However, this will create a problem since there's a possibility that the home screen will be loaded more than once, and then we will have duplicates of these game objects. In order to prevent that, we will need to use an if statement, and if there's ever more than one of these objects, we will need to destroy it. So let's type if, and then we will use a function called findObjectsOfType. Make sure you type in the plural, so objects, there's this which is just object, and then there's this which is objects. So make sure you select that one. After that, in the brackets, we need to specify which type of objects we are looking for. It's going to be the same type of the object that this whole script is attached to, so we can use another function to specify that, which is getType. And getType is also a function, so don't forget to open close brackets after that. So this will find how many objects of the same type exist. And if the length of that is greater than 1, so if more than one object exists, we will need to destroy it. So destroy game object. After that, we want to initialize the Admob plugin. In order to do that, let's type Admob and make sure it's a capital A, dot instance. After that, open and close the brackets, dot init Admob. And in the brackets here, it takes two parameters. The first is a banner ID, and the second one is the video ID. So let me get back into Notepad and copy the banner ID that I saved there. Make sure it is also in quotation marks since it's a string, and then separated by a comma, we need another parameter which is the video ID. For now we don't have a video, but if you had one, you will be basically doing the same thing, copying the ID of the video and pasting it right here. Since we don't have one, we'll just type in null. And right now we are pretty much done with the start method. Let's go on and create our own method to actually display the ad. It's going to be public void and then the name of the method that we want. For example, banner ad. So what we want to do in this method is to display the banner on the top of the screen. So let's type in Admob. Again, make sure it's a capital A. Dot instance. Don't forget to open and close the brackets. Dot show banner. And you notice that there are two functions for this. Show banner absolute and show banner relative. Right now let's choose relative. And you can see that this function takes a bunch of parameters. The first one is the size of the banner. So let's type in add size dot banner, since this is a specification of the size. Then separated by a comma, we need to type in the position. So add position dot, and then we can choose from one of these. Let's choose top center. Then again we need to separate it by a comma, and then we need to type in the margin. It's going to be an integer. We don't want it to be standing out too much, so let's just use 1. This is pretty much it for the whole script. Let's save this. So we have created this method that will actually display the banner, but we have not called it anywhere. So let's go back to Unity. And before we forget, we also need to create a new empty game object, which we can call Admob object. Let's reset the positions. And let's add the newly created script to it. So this is the game object that will be kept even after we change the scene. As I already mentioned, we have created a method to display the banner, but we have not called it anywhere. So let me think where we want to call it. Maybe when we press the play button we want to show the banner. So let's go to our play button and open up the play button script. Before we load a new scene, we want to call this method from the other script. In order to do that, we need to reference the name of the script, which is admob script dot instance dot the name of the method, which is banner add. And don't forget to open and close the brackets. And that's basically it. If we save this, we can go back to Unity and press play to see that we are not getting any errors. However, we will not be seeing the actual ads in the Unity editor, since those only work on the phone. Also, let's make sure that this object is not duplicating more than once. If we go back to the home screen, it should still stay at 1. Since you can't see the actual ads in the Unity editor, let me show you how they look on the phone. Maybe you will find yourself struggling and getting the ads to work and display correctly, but you will fail. And that's none of your problems, however, it's a problem with Google. Sometimes they just don't have an ad available for you to display in the game. So how you can make sure that your ads actually work is if you go back to the Admob script. Before the show banner function, we can add another function that will enable the ad testing. We will use admob dot instance, don't forget to open and close the brackets, dot set testing, and in the brackets we need to type in true. This will enable ad testing, and instead of the actual ad you will be seeing a test banner which ensures that you did everything correctly and that the ad should display in case one is available from Google. If we save this, go back to Unity. Since you can't see it in the Unity editor, I will show you how it looks like on my phone. If the test ad was displayed correctly, you can know for sure that you did everything right, and you can go back to the Admob script and comment the testing mode out, so that your game now is ready to display the correct ad instead of the test ad. Also, don't forget to save it. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson and that you learned something new. Stay tuned for more to come.